Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Your dial is set correctly to USA Prepares, where converging threads are confronted daily. This is your captain speaking, John Regan. I'm sitting in for Vincent this week. He's out helping a friend, and of course, this time of year, there's only a limited amount of daylight, and I don't know the details, but I do know that, Missouri got hit with a lot of water and flooding, and that's my suspicion. Vince is due back in this chair on Monday, and we'll get a nice report on what he did then, I'm sure. Today we get to talk to Brandon Williams. He's chief designer at Iron Edison. He's also the founder of the company. They have a team of solar and battery designers that are there to answer your questions. And I guess at this point, welcome, Brandon.
I can hear you.
Great.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen with communications.
It's
well,
exciting.
Let me do a very quick financial update. Things have been going crazy in the market lately. Right now, this morning, the primary markets, the S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ are up about 1% to 1.5%, and crude's up about 1%. But crude is still, way low. It's below $32 right now. And the Baltic Dry Index continues to drop. It's now at 402. And if it keeps on going the direction it is, it'll be about 390 tomorrow. So I'm going to keep my eye on that as well. But today we're going to talk about backup for your power, because we've had no shortage of conversations on here about what can happen to the grid, whether that's short term with a storm or long term with the whole grid going down for a number of reasons. And that's where Brandon and Iron Edison can help you out. So, Brandon, where did you want to start today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I'm always excited to speak with you and your listeners about battery backup systems and solar and energy security in general. So I'm excited today to talk to you a little bit about our team at Iron Edison, talking about some of the batteries that we've been working on, including some of the new lithium iron phosphate battery packs. And then, like you said, jumping into talking about short-term grid outages and long-term grid outages, how we can be prepared for both of those events, and just some things to think about as you're planning a system and then operating a system under those two different types of short and long-term grid outage.
Yeah, and unless you've been in that position, you may not realize just how dependent we are and how leveraged we are with energy. Here in the Dallas area, and at the time I was working for the company that does the electric delivery for about a third of Texas, including the Dallas area. And there was twice during that time frame that I suffered through basically a 60-hour outage, 2.5 days. And, when it's cold out, we'd just about reached the limit. If the power hadn't come back on, we would have had to have gone to another area. And that's one of the things you can do when you don't have a backup available to you. But when it's the whole darn grid, you don't have another place to go to. It's what you can do right there for yourself. And well, unless you got pretty darn deep pockets too, you can't just try to replicate everything that the grid provides you, because there's some pretty power heavy appliances out there. I'm sure you're going to talk about those. And to try and do all of those, especially at the same time, would be pretty tough. So why don't you take that softball and hit it out of the park?
Well, I really appreciate that. Yeah, so the grid outage, especially an outage lasting 60 hours, can be a challenge. Everything from heating your house, lighting, to cooking food and preparing food safely. Refrigerators are out, and so it is a completely different way of life when the grid is down. And with just a modest investment in solar, battery, or even a backup generator, you can continue to provide the energy, at least to some level, that you or your family would be accustomed to, which is, whether it's summer in Dallas or winter in Dallas, both of those are going to create some pretty uncomfortable environments. And being able to provide heat, or maybe some cooling, or at least some fans during the summer hours, would be a lot more helpful to a regular homeowner.
And it's interesting here where when the temperature gets down to about 70, you can see the people standing at the bus stop in their parkas. And I'm thinking, what are they going to do when it really gets cold?
Absolutely. So having some primary and backup power sources, as well as having a backup heat source to keep the family warm when the grid is out for some time. And then knowing how to use it, being prepared and kind of planning ahead is going to be really helpful if and when the grid goes down. So yeah, we're going to talk about the different ways that the grid could be affected, and a couple different responses to that, whether it's using that gas or propane or diesel powered generator, which has some positives and negatives, or integrating that with some solar and some battery and some other alternative energy sources that can be used to provide a very stable energy platform. And it doesn't have to be sized to break the bank or to run a 5-ton air conditioner all day. We can use some really practical logic to finding the right size system to provide lighting, and even if it's just a single cooktop to provide some of that electricity that we've become so dependent on. It can make a real difference in keeping spirits high during a grid outage.
And I meant to ask, did you want to take any questions from the class today?
That would be great. I'd be happy to.
Okay, let me just give out that number in case there are. That is 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. We're getting close to a break, so we don't want to get deep in a conversation at this point. I guess something else that be interested in hearing from you is, what options do you have when you're renting? You're living in a house or an apartment, and you don't have control over what you can do with the facility. Do you have any answers for those people?
That's a really great question, John. So there are a couple solutions, and I would probably recommend a couple of smaller size solar panels that could be deployed on a rooftop or in a backyard or even on a patio, on a south-facing patio. So that would be, and we can look at some smaller generators as well to provide some backup power for the short term in a rental house or apartment.
Okay. It's John Regan with Brandon Williams. We'll be back after this short break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
If survivalist housing has been in your plans, get ready. We're bringing our Timberline Range Camps to you February 6th through 14th, the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Get an up-close look at some of our most popular Timberline models or visit survivalistcamps.com to pre-order a camp. We'll bring it to the show and save you the cost of shipping. It's the perfect time to get that camp you've wanted. Go to survivalistcamps.com, then plan on joining us at the Great American Outdoor Show in February in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
This is John Regan at the controls with Brandon Williams of Iron Edison. Brandon, I know I've heard the story before, but we have new people all the time. Why don't you take a moment and talk about why the name Iron Edison?
Yeah, John, thanks so much. So Iron Edison refers to one of the battery types that we work with. It is the nickel iron battery. and it was originally invented by Thomas Edison over 100 years ago. So the Iron Edison Battery Company, we specialize in alternative battery chemistries like nickel iron, lithium iron, and we even still work with a lot of systems that use the traditional lead acid batteries as well.
And I guess it might be worth a discussion on, if you're looking at, the really bad grid down situation where there may never be another supply chain in your lifetime, which of these are going to be the longest lasting that you'll be able to take care of?
Edison's nickel iron battery is absolutely the longest lasting battery that's really ever been built. The advantage is it's a alkaline chemistry where the plates of the battery don't ever degrade. So over decades of use, the nickel and iron plates are still in the original condition, which is completely different than a lead acid battery, where you may be familiar with owning a truck or a car for several years and leaving the lights on overnight. When you go back out, and even once you get that car jump started, that lead acid battery just never comes back, and it may not even start your car the next day. So the nickel iron battery is different in that it doesn't degrade. It is not damaged by deep discharge or freezing temperatures. So despite its lower energy density in a stationary application where most of these batteries are located in a basement or in a battery box in a garage, the nickel iron battery is going to be the one that's going to last for decades. And that's especially important, as you mentioned, in a long-term outage where the supply chain may break down and batteries, even lead acid batteries, would become incredibly expensive, if not impossible to find.
Plus, when they go bad, how would you be able to recondition them if you don't have the supply chain out there?
With a lead acid battery, absolutely not. We see this every season when customers shut down their solar systems for the winter and come back in the spring or summer. They find that their lead acid battery is frozen and they're not able to keep the lights on overnight. So they may have a $10,000 or $20,000 battery pack that was ruined by one night of freezing temperatures. So, John, we call the first set of lead acid batteries that customers buy for their system, we jokingly refer to that as training wheels, because we know that they're going to damage that battery and they're going to need replacement in just a matter of months.
And that's got to be an expensive mistake too.
It really is. And even some people who are very careful and cautious, it really just takes one mistake through the learning process. So I'd liken this to a fender bender in your car. If you made just one slight mistake while learning how to drive, it would be like totaling your entire vehicle. So there's a lot of challenges when it comes to managing a lead acid battery pack.
Now, if you had a solar system, I would imagine you'd still be able to have power while the sun's up, but you wouldn't have the storage facility when the sun isn't.
That's exactly right. With the traditional lead acid battery, we see the process is called sulfation, and the lead turns from a metal to more of a solid, a crystal that doesn't allow the battery to charge or discharge. So you're absolutely right. During the day when the solar power is out, that energy can be used. The solar will try to charge up that damaged lead acid battery, but it can also go directly to powering a load like a light or a cooktop or a fan or whatever those normal household loads may be during the day. The challenge with an older lead acid battery is just that you're not going to get any energy available throughout the night.
I think that was pretty good timing. John Regan and Brandon Williams will be back after the bottom of the hour break.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
This is John Regan of the financialstateoftheunion.com at the controls today. If you go to usaprepares.com, usaprepares.com, click on the instructor tab, you'll find a list of all your instructors, and down in the energy solutions section, you'll find the link for Brandon Williams, which will take you to the ironedison.com website. And Brandon, how else could people contact you?
It would be great to give us a call directly. We have a team of 6 system designers that are ready to answer any questions. You can reach us anytime at the office. The phone number there is 720-432-6433. Again, that's 720-432-6433. And the website, ironedison.com, is a great place to learn more and see some sample pre-configured solar and battery systems that we've put together.
Okay. I'll I guess let's go ahead and talk about what can we do for short outages.
For short-term grid outages, there's a couple solutions. Some of the smaller boxed battery backup systems may be a good option for like a single CPAP machine or a small medical device. Those small battery backup systems can just plug right into an outlet for normal everyday use, and then they may provide just a couple hours of backup for a short-term grid outage. And then a generator is also a very popular option for a short-term grid outage. It's relatively inexpensive. It has a low upfront cost, and it can a generator, a gas, diesel, or propane generator, can produce a tremendous amount of power in a very small package. Enough power from a small generator to back up almost a whole house. So there's some distinct advantages to having a gas, a piston-powered generator. But there's also some challenges there. Those piston-powered generators are going to make noise, and they're going to use a lot of fuel. So there's a limited amount of time that those generators can run. And if there's kind of a security threat of any kind, and we're trying to keep a low profile, the generator may not be the best option, because of if it's dark and cold and nobody else has power, but your house is beaming light and your generator's roaring out back. John, your house is going to become a beacon for some neighbors who may want that power that you have. So there's definitely some considerations to take into account when deciding what energy source is best.
Yeah, I was sitting around the Thanksgiving table this past holiday, and some of our, my wife's relatives live closer to the Texas coast than those of us here in Dallas. And when hurricanes come through, that causes damage over a pretty wide area. And they were talking about how they were without power for, I believe, a couple of weeks. And they've got some backup, and they also, knew to, get food out of the, refrigerator and fridge for when they didn't have power. And unfortunately, they missed a bag of chicken that just kind of blended into the background. And they started smelling something, and when they opened it, if you talk about foul.
Ooh. Yeah. and that's a great story, because food safety is really one of the number one reasons for having an energy backup system. Whether it's having one fridge or a backup freezer, or whatever it may be, keeping the milk cold, keeping the meat cold, keeping the food frozen is really important, because if the grid were down, there were a lot of people potentially looking at that bag of fowl, and maybe having second thoughts that they could cook it up for dinner. And in a grid outage scenario, imagine having no lights and no power and barely any way to cook, maybe like some charcoal briquettes, but cooking up some rotten food could really make your day even worse. So like you said at the opening of the show, we're so dependent on electricity for so many reasons, whether it's just getting information about the passing storm, or when it's safe to go outside through the radio or television, all the way up to imagine rebuilding your house and trying to help your neighbors and rebuild the neighborhood and clean up after a significant storm, and having no power to do so, no power tools, no drills, having to literally rebuild by hand from the ground up. Whereas if you were properly prepared and had some stable power system, you could be the first on the block to help clean up, get back on track, get some safe food for yourself, your family, or your neighbors, and kind of be more like a beacon of hope in the neighborhood to help everybody get back on track.
You know, we didn't talk about, but you talked about lithium ion battery packs. We've been reading a lot about the lithium ion battery packs in the news. Would you like to discuss that a little? Because, you know, I know people don't want to have a surprise fire.
Absolutely. So great question here. We are working with a new chemistry, and it is a cousin to the lithium ion batteries we've been hearing about in the news. Those are the batteries that are very powerful, but they have some drawbacks, like they are prone to catching fire if the onboard computer system fails, or even under some general use conditions, those standard lithium batteries can fail. We are using a different chemistry. It's in the same class, but it is a much safer internal chemistry of the battery. It's called lithium iron or lithium iron phosphate. And the difference is that the iron in the lithium iron phosphate battery creates a much more stable bond. So we don't have loose oxygen molecules that are ready to catch fire. And I kind of liken those more dangerous batteries to a birthday candle. The trick birthday candles, once you blow them out, they just reignite. And we're seeing that in the news, and we've seen it with the Boeing batteries and some Tesla batteries, and also with the hoverboard batteries. And that's not something we want to put in somebody's garage for the long term. It's extremely powerful, but the challenge of working with that chemistry is that if you make a mistake, it's worse than lead acid, because the battery doesn't just go down. The battery may have a thermal runaway event. And so the lithium iron or lithium iron phosphate batteries that we use now are a lot safer. We sacrifice just a little bit of that extremely high power density, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth it to keep our customers safe while giving them those cutting edge technology.
Yeah, I love the engineering terms there. Thermal runaway event.
It's scary because there's the oxygen is actually contained within the battery. So I was reading a document published by the FAA last week because we're looking to put this battery on a boat. So very similar situation where a fire on board would be completely catastrophic. With the standard lithium batteries, just extinguishing with water is not enough to put that battery out. It will come back because it will reignite because there's enough heat and oxygen inside the battery. It's its own fuel source and its own ignition source. So there's what some other companies are having to do, and in some of these electric vehicles, is use a supplemental liquid cooling system to keep that battery at safe temperatures. And so using a liquid cooling system in an electric battery, it just doesn't feel right, John. So just so much room for failure there, whether it's the little aquarium pump that's running the cooling system. You know, the battery may be in great shape, but a failure of kind of an ancillary component could cause that thermal runaway. And that's not what we want to have for first-time system owners to keep inside their house. It can be dangerous.
It'll keep you warm till the house burns down, you know.
That's right. That would be a short-term solution.
Is there anything else you want to cover on short outages?
Yeah. So in regards to a short outage, there's always a balance there between like firing up the generator, keeping some lights on, inviting the neighbors over for a beer because you're the only guy with some lights on in the neighborhood. There's a fine line there between helping out and kind of broadcasting the fact that you're open for business and being prepared and keeping the lights dim, if anything, blocking the windows to prevent any light pollution. And during the short-term grid outage, just it's important to be aware of how much fuel is left, the state of maintenance of the generator, like does it need oil or filters, how long can it run at once, and it's really with any short or long-term grid outage, it's good to practice. And like a lot of the listeners here probably have practiced packing their bug out bag or practiced a mini lockdown for a couple of days. This would be a great time to practice also running the generator, running off a backup power source safely, keeping the generator out of a garage, keeping it in a ventilated area. Or if they're using solar or battery, to really understand the limits of a small system, to see that a small, maybe store-bought battery backup system is going to run a refrigerator for just a couple hours rather than running an air conditioner all day.
Okay. This is John Regan with Brandon Williams. We'll be back in a few minutes.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door, but police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes, and intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use Door Armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, Door Armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your Door Armor is guaranteed for life. Go to InvasionStopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half-off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to InvasionStopper.com now. That's InvasionStopper.com.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
This is John Regan with Brandon Williams of Iron Edison with us today. And I guess if we saw a chart of how many or how long the outage was and had the count of them, if say we had from a couple of hours to a couple of days, that those would probably be a very high percentage of what people experience in power outages. Would that be the case?
I would definitely agree with that. Most outages are less than just a couple of hours, especially here in the United States.
So just being set up for the short term is probably going to handle most of your needs, at least up until the point where the grid goes down. That's when we need to talk about long-term solutions.
That's right. And there's a different philosophy in setting up an energy system to prepare for the long term. And this is really what Iron Edison focuses on is preparing systems that are set up for use every single day, that are hardwired into the electrical panel of the house with mostly using permanently installed solar panels, whether they're on a roof or even on a ground mount hidden behind the fence in a backyard. But by setting up your system for the long term, people can reap the benefits of the solar and battery production every single day. We can use that equipment to offset everyday energy use to keep people prepared for these short-term grid outages without even blinking an eye. And that same equipment seamlessly transitions into working through a long-term grid outage.
And were you going to be able to stick with this into the next hour?
Absolutely. I'll be available for another half an hour to talk about grid outages, some of these longer-term grid outages, and then some other answer some questions about solar and battery and alternative energy systems.
Okay, and we talked on the phone. There's a number of ways that the grid can be brought down. Probably the most common we talk about is EMP, where somebody just launches a missile and at altitude explodes it and has the pulse take out a bunch of electronics, which would thus take out the grid as well. But there's other ways that the grid can be brought down. We had the departing Homeland Security Chief tell us that 100% chance that the grid will be brought down by cyber attack. Vincent has talked about how taking out a small number of critical transformers can bring the grid down. We can also see something like the Carrington event that happened about 150 years ago, when telegraph was the technology, and that caused wires to catch fire and even caused fires in some of the telegraph offices. And each of those are similar in the fact that they bring the grid down, but they are different in what the collateral damage is, I guess you'd say. And I guess we can. We've only got about a minute or so here before we get to break, so we can't really get into it right now, but we can get into some of the differences and how you might want to position depending on what you think would be more likely or trying to cover the gamut.
Right. So there's that balance, John, between do we use the equipment? Do we keep it stored away? What kind of event we're preparing for? And so we want to help people understand that there's different options in preparing for these different scenarios of long-term or short-term grid outage.
Yeah, it's my understanding, the batteries and solar panels wouldn't be so much affected by EMP, but the electronics that control that would be.
Exactly.
And we can get into that when we come back from the top of the hour news break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation.com can protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from Reputation.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, LibertyOnCall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to LibertyOnCall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's LibertyOnCall.org.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
This is your captain, John Regan, sitting in for Vincent today. He's out this week helping out, and I'm sure we'll get a report on that on Monday. Brendan, are you still with us?
I'm right here.
Okay, great. Live radio is always fun.
It's exciting. It absolutely is, John.
Yeah, I say it's about as exciting as, parachuting without the parachute.
It can feel like that sometimes, but it's great to be here and talking to you about solar battery backup systems, talking about the grid, and you've had some great questions so far. So I've really enjoyed speaking with you.
Thanks. So, when you're talking about short-term outages, there's things you can always sacrifice for a short period of time. Like you might not be able to take a hot shower for a couple of days. It's no big deal. But when you're looking long term, there's more of your life that you need, to maintain some kind of normalcy. And why don't we go ahead and talk about how you would size systems for that long-term type outage.
For a long-term grid outage, we really have to take a look and determine what in the house is considered a critical load or a critical appliance. And so I would look first at food, some lighting, and some basic necessities. So the heater is definitely very important. An air conditioner would probably not make that list of critical appliances at the very first pass. Just depending on the size of the system, an air conditioner can be a tremendous load. Up to 50 or 60% of a house's electrical use in the summer can be due to just the air conditioner. So unless it's absolutely necessary, we would recommend opening up the windows and running a fan during those the hot summer days. But at least you have some power. At least you have some fans, and maybe the system is sized right to run an air conditioner or a window air conditioner unit for a couple hours a day. That's especially so during the summer when we have long sunny days. The solar panels can almost directly power a window air conditioner unit and at least keep a portion of the house cool and comfortable. So one of the things that I would definitely keep in a backup, keep in mind when preparing for a long-term backup, would be lighting, a cooktop, and this is especially true for the listeners who may have a full electric stove and oven at their house, where those traditional electric cooktops are like a short circuit. It's that heating element draws a tremendous amount of energy just to get up to temperature. So what some of my preparedness customers have taught me is that they're using a single burner induction cooktop. So induction cooktop uses a magnetic field to heat up the pot, and ideally a cast iron pot, because it's going to react better with that induction cooktop. But having just a single burner cooktop to boil water, we were talking about this yesterday, to make that rice a little bit less crunchy. It's going to really help to keep spirits high. If the grid is down for a couple weeks, having a hot meal, and even if it's just a couple of light bulbs operational, it's going to make such a difference. It's going to make your family or everybody who's at your house feel that much more secure, and really like keeping morale high during a long-term outage would be really important to keeping a cohesive unit together and keeping on track with a kind of a survival or preparedness plan.
Yeah, we are so spoiled. We don't even, give it a second thought. When we flip the switch, we expect the light to come on, and in a matter of blink of an eye, that can change. And it's like I say, if the grid goes down, it's come as you are.
That's right. It is a tough learning experience to understand what life entails with no electricity, with no grid. And, I'd say give it a shot for a couple hours, turn off the circuit breakers in your house, and beyond just having to reset the clocks later on, think about like what it really means to be in the dark for a couple of days. And even the most well-prepared clients that I've worked with, as far as having food and defense and a bug out plan or a home defense plan all put together, without an energy system, they're feeling very vulnerable. They're sitting in the dark, in the cold. It is a challenge to keep the spirits high when the lights are off and it's cold inside and there's no food to eat. So this equipment doesn't have to necessarily just be used for an outage. For example, my system and the system that we're designing at Vincent's house is used to offset daily loads. So we've identified at Vincent's house and in my house, I've identified those, my kitchen, the outlets at the counter level, and a couple of the lights in the living area are powered up. but my guest room isn't powered up, and my guest bathroom isn't powered up, and the downstairs back closet doesn't get power when the grid is down. But my bedroom, my bathroom, it's nice to use the bathroom with the lights, especially at night. So having one bathroom with some lights, one bedroom, one small living area, and some of the outlets, at least one refrigerator in the kitchen is the minimum that we recommend for a quote unquote whole house backup system where we can also pick and choose, John. A lot of people have some critical computer equipment running at home. Vincent, for example, has his studio running out of his home. So, keeping the board powered up and keeping his servers up and running is mission critical for him. And there's no one size fits all. We have to take a close look at every system to determine what's the right mix of circuits and lights and refrigeration that we need to keep backed up, and for how long we need to do that. So, every system's unique, and then there is a learning curve when it comes to turning this equipment on. It's like riding a bike or any other analogy. We're not going to be an expert the first time that we go to run our house off the grid, especially because we're accustomed to flipping the switch and seeing the lights come on right there. So, it's always great to get some experience. And, our team, we love helping people. We love conversations like this to help anyone understand, maybe solar is not the right fit. Maybe wind is a great resource, or maybe we already have a 20 kilowatt generator and want to look at how we can dampen the noise and use that to charge a battery and keep, maintain the fuel that we have. So it's really, this is why I love what I do, John, because every single time I go to work, every single call that I take and every single project that I get to help with is different. And just like the customers who own and operate them, we have the pleasure of really setting these up custom every single time we go out into the field to make sure that we're addressing those exact needs for that system owner.
I heard you talk about the lights for the bathroom. There's another need for the bathroom, that's water.
Right.
And if you have to go haul that gets pretty heavy pretty fast. So you really would like to have some power there to power a pump in order to get more of that water in your house, even if you have to move it around by hand afterwards.
That's exactly right. And a lot of pumps are running 220 volt power and are several hundred feet deep. That takes a couple thousand watts of electricity to pump that water at least up to ground level to a cistern for holding or to a pressure pump. So you're absolutely right. The water is one of the most critical needs. And so a small or modest sized solar system would be able to pump water and then even boil to if we need to clean water out of the tap, or if we're doing rainwater catchment or bringing it up from a lake or a stream. Even in the city, imagine like having to go out and use buckets and gather water from some open water source in a city in a grid outage. I would definitely want to be boiling that water before drinking.
When we were up in the Ozarks, I had an opportunity to see an Amish house there, and they had one of those old round style washing machines, and they'd swapped out the motor in that for a 12 volt motor, and they had that run to a solar panel on the roof.
It's incredible, and I would say the Amish are better than most at living with an absolute minimum of appliances, relying on the earth around them to build their houses, furniture, transportation. They're looking at sustainable and alternative ways to sustain a normal life. So yeah, that's a great example.
And it's surprising how much of what technology they have runs on kerosene.
Kerosene and gas lamps, and Yeah, I really like that example about a 12-volt. There's so many 12-volt appliances out there that could be run, even if just during the daytime with a couple solar panels to, whether it's a little cooktop or a fan or radios, any appliance that goes in an RV or a car. We see them around the truck stop or at the big box stores, but having even just a small 12-volt setup really makes sense, and starting small can help people learn about how to use this equipment.
Okay, this is John Regan with Brandon Williams. We'll be back after this break.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Winter has just begun, and are you already tired of being cold? How would you like to never be cold again? This is Dale with Fortress Clothing, and I'm here to tell you, you will never be cold again with Fortress. If you're tired of freezing your butt off, elk hunting, sitting in a tree stand, deer hunting, winter camping, fishing, ice fishing, no longer fear the cold. If you snowmobile, ski, snowboard, get Fortress. Sledding with the kids, shoveling the walks, shopping, or if you or your spouse get cold feet at home, get Fortress. If you're stuck outside working in the cold or find yourself in an emergency situation, get our winter bug-out bag, and you will never be cold again. Fortress is the answer, so quit complaining and go to FortressClothing.com. It's a mid-layer garment that goes with anything you want to wear. Enter coupon code RADIO and get 20% off any item. Go now while we still have inventory. FortressClothing.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the hosts you're listening to right now, online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
There's one major factor affecting the health of millions, and most people are completely unaware. Acid levels. Soda, meat, dairy, caffeine, and sugar can all lead to elevated acid levels in the body. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops get the body's pH levels back in perfect balance. It's a holistic, natural, and powerful approach that will give you greater health, vitality, and zest for life. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops. Visit ALKAvision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at AlkaVision.com.
This is John Regan with Brandon Williams today. Yeah, we're talking about just having a small system, and let me run this past you. I've got a Huawei smartphone. It's got a big screen. It's almost the size of a small tablet. And it also has an SD card in there. So what I'm looking at is if you're in that long-term grid down era, you don't get to go on the internet and look things up. So if you want to put some books on your phone, download how-to videos for the things that you don't have time to learn right now and you need to reference later. And the nice thing with those SD cards is if you run out of space, you can always use another one. And if you've got power for that thing, now you've got a reference library right there in the palm of your hand. But if you don't have a way of recharging it, it's just a paperweight.
I completely agree with that. And cell phone charging is one of the lightest energy loads that we could put onto a system. With even just one solar panel and a small battery and inverter, you could charge up your phone in just a matter of hours. There's even small solar panels that are dedicated specifically to recharging cell phones. So, at a bare minimum, I would recommend something like that to keep, especially in your scenario here where all of your critical information is stored on a phone or a computer.
Well, we've spent almost an hour and a half talking about it, and there's, I guess you could say we haven't even scratched the surface, which is part of the reason why people need to call a company like yours to discuss their situation. Did you want to go ahead and give that contact information again?
Absolutely. You can find us online at ironedison.com. The website looks great on your computer or even on your cell phone. Or you can reach us directly. We love talking with people and understanding exactly what they're looking to do with these energy systems. And our main phone number at the office is 720-432-6433. Again, that's 720-432-6433.
Okay, we've got 2 or 3 minutes left before we hit the break, and you have to go. So go ahead and however you want to summarize and close it out, be my guest.
Well, thanks, John. It has been an absolute pleasure being your guest here today. I always love speaking with Vincent, and it's been great to learn more about you. We at Iron Edison, we love working with batteries. We love helping people understand how this equipment works. This is amazing. It's cutting edge technology, but we don't want people to feel overwhelmed. There is a lot to learn about how to properly size and operate a solar or off-grid system. And I think we're different in especially versus a company like Solar City that may come out and just lease you some solar panels. We feel a bond with all of our customers. We call them family because we work with them so closely to design an energy system that's just right for every different situation. So, I'd love to speak with any of the listeners and help them to even just get a better understanding of this technology and help understand if it can work at their house or their cabin, for their RV, or we're working with all sorts of really exciting applications like houseboats and traveling buses that are going around the country teaching eco-friendly lessons at schools and libraries. And it's every project is just so much fun, and it's an incredible time to be in this business. We're so happy. It's I can't even call this work, John.
One question I did want to try and slip in there. What's the expected lifespan of a solar panel?
The solar panels are expected to last 20 years or more. We've got some solar panels in the field that have been operating for 30, even 40 years. And they lose a little bit of performance year over year, but even after decades, they're still putting out 60-70% of their original output. So those traditional solar panels, extremely resilient to ice and hail, snow and wind, and they're going to keep lasting, giving you power for decades to come.
Well, Brandon, thank you for being with us. Enjoyed it.
My pleasure, John. Thank you so much.
And I'll be back after the bottom of the hour break.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com. Or call 800-544-3533.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you, so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now, and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, KD Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KD. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to kdarmor.com. Come and take it.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor-endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply truly the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at nutrimedical.com.
This is John Regan at the controls today. If you'd like to call in and ask me a question, you can reach the board at 866-582-9933. I went and took a look at the current situation on the markets. They are now trending downward a little bit. The major indices, the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ are still up, but they're only up fractionally from less than 0.2% to about 0.2%. Crude has gone from positive to negative. It's now about, the latest quote I'm seeing here is 30.57. We're getting so close to breaking that $30 mark. I've seen some analysts out there say that it could drop to as little as $10 a barrel. I wouldn't hold my breath to see that. But for the time that it stays in even the $30 range means that we're going to have more and more carnage in the energy industry. I was going through the headlines this morning and saw BP is getting ready to lay off 4,000. And this is all part of the worldwide problem. It's not just the United States. And I guess it gets down to, why I wrote the Financial State of the Union was to try and wake people up and also give you the best picture possible without trying to be all-encompassing, because it doesn't take, trying to make a financial report out of it, but you do need to know certain components. And in fact, when I wrote it, the very first sentence is, we live in a highly leveraged society. And I didn't start off with financial, I started off with technology. The second sentence, our technology allows us to live a lifestyle beyond any before us in recorded history. And we've spent the last hour and a half talking about energy solutions so that you can keep some of that technology working. In essence, what we've done is go from the olden days where there was slave labor used, or lowly paid labor to get things produced. And even if there had not been the Civil War in the United States, which is where we really were fighting over states' rights, not slavery. Slavery was already on the way out. Industrialization was going to take the work the slaves was doing and put it into machines for the most part. And we're now on the advanced technology side of where what the machines can't do, we had migrants come in and do the work, particularly like picking the crop. And they are now getting to the point where that will be automated as well. So we're at the crossroads of so many things. It's definitely an interesting time to be alive. But the more that we've acquired, even from the industrialization age, which allowed us to do more, whether it was through steam or later the internal combustion engine running off a petroleum product, that is what has allowed so many of the benefits that we experienced during the 20th century. And unfortunately, we also got to reap the dark side of the force as well. Because the same technology, whatever can be used for good, they can turn around and weaponize it and use it for destruction. But in our day-to-day lives, that's where we've gotten so spoiled. And if we're not living the lifestyle that we think is going to happen, there's going to be some bad surprises. And without the grid and the supply chain, those types of things can be fatal mistakes, which is why Vincent and I encourage you to actually try these things. Go turn off the power and just see how your life changes. Tape over the faucet controls so you don't have the easy access to water that you're used to. And then you get to better see some of the things you need to adjust. If you've got some of the freeze-dried food, take out a can and try it out. And remember, you won't necessarily have a stove available, so what's your alternative cooking technique going to be? And I guess the good news is, like anything in life, you pretty much have the 80-20 rule. So you can learn about 80% of what you need in a short amount of time. It's when you start having problems that you wish you'd had more experience. Like in raising your own food, whether it's plants or just some backyard chickens. A lot of that is fairly simple and straightforward up until the time something goes wrong. And it's through the experiences of what goes wrong over the years that allows you to be the master gardener or the expert chicken keeper. So the other part of how to position yourself for the future, and the most difficult, I think, is to have that community around you. The Amish have done such a great job in keeping their families and their communities together. And the rest of us, so many times the families aren't even, within 50 miles of each other. And once things happen, it simply may not be possible to make that trip anymore, just to get together. And you don't have to try to have all of the skills. You can, if you have just one person that's, that master gardener, that master gardener can give you direction while you work on your own garden. And when that problem comes up, then you have somebody to ask, because you're not going to be able to get on the computer and go and do a search and then flip over to Amazon and 2 days later have your product in hand. The financial condition has really been deteriorating quickly. And when I wrote the Financial State of the Union, I wasn't really sure how long we had. And if you heard me back then, I was saying, I hope we have 2 to 3 years to get things done. And we've had those 2 to 3 years, and we're still managed to live a relatively normal lifestyle. But that's starting to run out. When I went to the expo last year, I had done a calculation based on 3 items. One is the total income of the United States, which is not the same as GDP. GDP is a made-up number. It counts things that are not not real income. It counts productivity. So if you downloaded an app to your smartphone that allowed you to do something, that would be additional productivity, even though it was a free app that didn't generate any kind of real benefit to the economy through a financial transaction. So I found the IRS tax stats and looked at what the growth rate was on income. And I need to download this again to see what the current level is and what the current growth rate is. But at the time, that was growing at a rate of about 2%. When you look at government spending, federal, state, and local, that was growing at a rate of about 4%. And based on interest expense, that was growing at a rate of 4% as well. And while that's an easy number to get to, what's harder is debt service, because you can't just pay interest only that the government gets to, but most of us have to pay something towards the principal. And so I used just a 3% rate, which means it would take roughly 30 years to pay off the principal of the loan. And just at those growth rates, at the current levels, government spending and debt service eclipsed total income in 2020. And obviously, an economy can't get to that point before there's problems. And I just picked a point in between, which was 2017 and a half. And if that's the end point, then looking at history, we get, probably about 3 years before that. So I looked what started in 2014. And that's when we started to see, the negative interest rates and all kinds of tricks. And I'll pick up with this after the break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
If survivalist housing has been in your plans, get ready. We're bringing our Timberline Range Camps to you February 6th through 14th. It's a Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Get an up-close look at some of our most popular Timberline models or visit survivalistcamps.com to pre-order a camp. We'll bring it to the show and save you the cost of shipping. It's the perfect time to get that camp you've wanted. Go to survivalistcamps.com, then plan on joining us at the Great American Outdoor Show in February in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
It's John Regan sitting in for Vincent today. And I know it's tough talking about numbers on the radio, but the point of this is when I made those calculations, total U.S. debt was $60 trillion. That's now risen to $64.5 trillion. And what's important about that is instead of rising at a 4% rate, in less than a year, it's risen 7.5%, almost double. Government spending has probably all risen as well. I just clipped an article this week where the federal government spending is increasing at a 7% rate. So what that means is that we basically lost a year from my calculation, unless by some miracle income also is increasing at that rate. But I have not seen an indication of that. So when I get the new calculation done, I'll talk about it on air. And it doesn't predict a date, but it gives you kind of a boundary line where you can see that the financial poop hits the prof simply because there's not enough income to pay for just those two items. And if I can, I'll see if I can throw in some other items like health insurance, food, housing, little things that people need to pay for in real life. And there's probably some rabbits that can be pulled out of a few hats that may extend that by a matter of months. But the point being is we really don't have a lot of time left anymore. You need to identify what you need to do and prioritize it. And then just work those priorities. You just can't do everything at once. Attempting to do so gets to be frustrating and demoralizing. And perhaps one of the tough things is just the acceptance of, there's going to be a financial reset. And even if that's all there is, only a repeat of the Great Depression in modern times. There's it's going to be very difficult here because of the leverage that we've had. And we also have a dependency class that we didn't have back during the Great Depression. And when all those benefits get cut off, we're going to lose millions of people to starvation and violence. And that's just if things stay normal. Through looking at history, when we have these tough times, we usually end up with war, much like the Great Depression and World War II. And that's where it gets real interesting, and it doesn't take a whole lot, whether it's EMP or sending in a team of a couple dozen people with some RPGs to go basically take out 6 or 12 key transformers. And America is sitting in the dark, not for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, but probably for the rest of your lifetimes. And the better prepared you are for that, the longer that lifetime is going to be. And that's why I'm here on the air. That's why Vincent started USA Prepares. And we hope what we bring to you is helpful. And today's show with Brandon is part of that. Once your electricity goes, you're back to doing things the old-fashioned way. And yes, you should have some tools available that do not require power, but so long as you have power available, think how much more handy it is to have a power drill, than a hand drill. No class, honesty, integrity. What happens next?
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
My name is Don Wiskin. In 1994, I lost my 62-year-old father to complications of bypass surgery. In 1977, my 44-year-old brother was found dead in his apartment. He suffered a heart attack. In January of 98, my mother had a stroke and passed away in her bed. 21 days later, my 53-year-old brother passed away on his arrival to the hospital. He waited too long. In June that same year, I almost joined them at 42. What did I do? I took a 7-herb formula I now call Extendivite, made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, milk thistle, and valerian. Based on German studies of natural medicine, Extendivite is designed to clear blocked arteries, clean the toxins from your blood, and improve your immune system. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with